Hola amigos, this is Level 12 and today we are going to be talking about how my opinion on Reddie has changed. Now for those of you that don't know, Reddie is the ship between Richie and Eddie from the It movies. And now some of you may be thinking, Love, you did not like It Chapter 2 because of how it handled Richie and Eddie's relationship. I almost got their names so messed up. And let me tell you, I still don't like how the movie handled it, but the fandom is very persuasive. And if you will notice, I have the original Reddie and the It Chapter 2 Reddie on here as well. So we're going to be talking about both of them because the movies, due to their time period, and especially when the movies themselves took place, some things changed pretty drastically. So each movie handled their relationship differently, and there is one ship or era that I like better than the other simply because the movies handled it differently, but we'll get into all that. So first, how the movies handled Reddie. In the original, it was very heavily implied, mostly because the movie came out in the 90s. I believe it was set in 1989 or 1990, not 100% sure. I know when they were kids, it was like the 60s when everything was taking place. So yeah, that's a thing that happened. As kids, they were very friendly and close. I believe in the new It movie, or the one that happened in 2017, because of all the cursing and the sexual innuendos, the friendship seemed not toxic, but a lot more chaotic than what I would deem as a normal middle school friendship. I was in the same grade, or a grade or two above of when the original It movie came out, and I was not like that with my friends, and even the kids who were more rambunctious weren't like that with their friends. It was a very odd portrayal of children. As adults, they were very friendly and close. Now, I know they didn't know each other as adults until they met back up in Derry, but they were still not like the sarcastic adult friendship that the new movie had them in. And the original ended with Richie finding an Eddie replacement for his stand-up routine. Like, it blatantly said, as it was either freaking Mike or Bill when they were the end narration. There was still that horrible end narration in the original and Richie found a new friend, much like Eddie, if you had never met Eddie. So, like, Richie very, very deeply did miss Eddie, and then Eddie wasn't married in the original. He was still living with his mom, his mom in the original. In the new one, again, the relationship was very blatantly stated, or at least Richie's one-sidedness of it was very blatantly stated. They were pretty close and friendly as kids. They had a very sarcastic adult relationship, like Richie and Eddie just kind of got along very, like, sarcastically, very rudely. And granted, they were still friends. Like, I'm like that with some of my friends, but it didn't really help the case that they were supposed to be romantically involved. Richie also was very clearly grieving for Eddie at the end. In the original, he was too, but the new one took it to a new height with him, like, crying in the lake or whatever. Also, Eddie was married in the new one, which made it harder for me to ship them because I don't like cheating on spouses and stuff like that. Ain't it, fam? So let me just set the record straight. Neither movie showed them as romantically interested as children. Granted, It Chapter 2 did try to squeeze in some parts by using the child actor of Richie to, like, make him look gay as a kid, which, if you don't show it in the first one, and you just use it as a flashback in the second one, in my opinion, it doesn't count as much. You need to show some of that in the original so it works. The relationship between Richie and Stan was better set up than the relationship between Richie and Eddie, because Richie actually went to Stan's little bar mitzvah thing, him becoming a man, giving his speech. That was more impactful than the little thing on the bridge. Sorry, I'm still very upset. And the old one, again, did not show them as super romantically involved. Like, Richie had a nickname, Eddie Spaghetti, for Eddie. Like, that was as far as it went. As far as I can remember, it's been a while since I've seen the original. So, I just want to set that record straight. So, why did my opinion change? Well, children, I'll tell you. My opinion changed because the fandom is very persuasive, and I do believe the actors gave the chemistry that Richie and Eddie deserved. The writing, all of that did not work, but I do think they got the point across that Richie and Eddie had a very close friendship, and that close friendship could morph itself into a fandom ship, but not anything canon. I don't believe Richie and Eddie is canon. I believe it could only ever be fanon. And the original, it had them being a lot closer as adults. There's a literal scene where in the original, that Richie and Eddie are like play wrestling, and it's very cute. Also, I just like the actor choice better for Richie and Eddie in the original movie. Now, I love Bill Harding for for Richie in the new It, and I love James for Eddie in the new It as well. But but whoever played Eddie in the original It, with his puffy blonde hair, his glasses, his suit, that was just the best casting choice ever. And I love Harry Anderson, who played Richie in the original. I love that man. He's from Night Court. He's funny. He's wholesome. Just the original It was a lot more wholesome, and I'm much more likelier to get behind a ship if it's wholesome and it's cute. This new It Chapter 2 had it a lot less wholesome. Like, the relationship didn't flourish as well. It wasn't just as good. Also, a lot of people ship them as kids, and they're like 12, 13, 14 at the oldest is when I'll place them, maybe 11 at the youngest. But there's a lot of weird fan art of them as kids, and I'm just not into that. Just big no. Big no. Fandom, please stop that. That's very weird. But my opinion really did change because the fandom just portrays them so sweetly. The fandom has so much evidence for when they're adults, when it works, and the movie actually tried, and not the horrible flashbacks. Like, my biggest pet peeve are flashbacks to try and get into information you could not get in at the start because you didn't know how it was going to end because you're horrible. I'm very upset at whoever wrote the It Chapter 2 script. I'm sorry. That's just me. Anyways, that's it for this video. I'm very sick. I need to go cough up some flagellum or whatever. Anyways, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for more random fandom things. Ciao, chicos.